Bruni siya ang kth item and kung sa ng k plus 1, then you take any k, true yung pinakalan siya. So that's really the idea and the intuition behind mathematical induction. This is not just kind of, wala lang, ganahan lang, okay, wala weird daw siya, if you like, assume ba yun ka? It's true for some k, right? Okay. So mathematical induction has these three steps. We have the base step. The base step is where we try to show that the case is true for trivial values, like very small values. Not just really to establish the fact that it's true for those for some of those values, but also to somehow try to find a pattern and see like what the problem is really claiming. That's also one way to use the base step. We have inductive hypothesis, so we've shown for some values that the claim is true for those values, and then we assume that for any n equal to k, the claim holds. And then the inductive step is showing that the claim will also hold for k plus 1, right? So we are going to do that, and the classic problem, this is the most, like, how many of you have seen the mathematical induction proof with this problem? Like, probably this is like the 4th, 5th time that you're going to see it, right? No? First time?
No.
Not the first time, right?
Yes.
So I can call on someone to do the thing on the board. Like not on the board, but like on the tablet.
Google.
It's your first time to see it, sir.
First time.
Did we win? Table badminton ba yan? Badminton. So how do we go about this, guys? So this is really the summation of I, right, going from 1 to n. The claim is that is n times n plus 1 all over 2. Although we have shown this to be true using direct proof, we just want to show that this is true by way of mathematical induction. Okay? Medyo intuitive ang summation when it comes to mathematical induction. Medyo it's straightforward. So let's have our DS. Hindi na siya bullshit.
Ay.
Wala ka na-record ka na.
N equal to 1. So what is the summation of I going from 1 to n? That's just 1, right? Is that equal to 1 times 1 plus 1 all over 2?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Let's have some more. Let's have n equal to 2. I going from, there you go. What is this? It's really 1 plus 2, right? Is that equal to 2 times 3? Yes, it is. You want some more? Or you get the drift? Let's have one more. N equal to 3. Para lang. Ganun basta siya. Lag siya. Diba sometimes mag-lag? 1 plus 2 plus 3. But is that equal to 3 times 4 divided by 2? Yes, that's 6, right? So for some small values, the claim holds. So our inductive hypothesis, pasensya sa kung ani guys, wapa ka ano. IH. Assume that the claim holds for when n is equal to k, right? So that is the summation of I going from 1 to k is indeed k times k plus 1 all over 2, right? So if you look at the base step that we did, well, so far, for values 1 to 3, sakto. We could have that k equal to 3, for instance, right? And we were able to show that it's true. And this is where the exciting part happens. We need to show in the inductive step that the claim holds for n equal to k plus 1, right? Tama? Okay. So how do we go about this, guys? The summation of I going from 1 to k plus 1, right, is equal to now k plus 1 times k plus 1 plus 1. I'll just write that way, okay? Para lang klaro na we did substitute k plus 1 dito sa n, right? But this is really what? K plus 2, right? So that is what we want shown. Is that really the case? Does that hold? So we go back to our problem. The problem is this: 1k plus 1. Because this is summation, we expand it. What is the summation of I going from 1 to k plus 1? That's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus dot 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 plus k plus k plus 1. You agree?
Yes.
You agree?
Yes.
Right? But then, familiar. Let's say familiar, guys. What is familiar here? So this is what we do. We normally do not oversimplify our expressions. Do not overexpand expressions, because the idea of the inductive step is to somehow look for where you can see and spot the inductive hypothesis. And this is really our inductive hypothesis. What is that? Isn't that? You agree? Tama? We know what this is. What is that? That's k times k plus 1 all over 2. That is our inductive hypothesis, right? And then plus, we have the k plus 1 here. There you go. Simplifying further, we sum them up. LCD is 2, right? I have k times k plus 1 plus 2 times k plus 1. So at this point, you should be able to notice, wait, I'm near my goal, right? And what I'll do there is, you look at the two terms. There's a common factor. It's a two terms. What is that common factor? Sorry, my K looks like an H. So this is, times what? K plus 2 all over 2, HN. Isn't this what we were gunning for? Right? So we were able to show that indeed the summation of I going from 1 to k plus 1 is this expression. But what I mean? Great. Okay. Let's have another problem. Okay. So challenge, guys, but we will answer this challenge together. Okay, so the problem says to prove by mathematical induction that for any positive integer n, n cubed plus 2n is divisible by 3. What does that mean? Divisible by 3, no? That means that expression I can represent as 3 times some j, and then your j is an integer, right? When you divide that number by 3, the remainder is 0. That was positive integer n, no? Positive dapat. Let's begin with what? Let's begin with our ds. 1. What is that? Let's see. That's 1Q plus 2 times 1. That is 3. Yes, divisible by 3. Para lang we get to see again how that looks. Let's have something else here. Let's have n equal to 2. So this is 2Q plus 2 times 2. 2Q ba? Tama, right? So this is 8 plus 4 and that is 12. Boy, divisible by 3. Right? And then we have n equal to, let's say 3 para lang malinaw yung that. 3Q plus 2 times 3. So this is 33. Oh wow! Divisible by 3 we have. Right? Okay, great. What do we do next? That hypothesis, we assume, we assume that for n equal to k, I can represent kq plus 2k, tama, is equal to some 3 times j, right? Where j is an element of z plus. Z plus because we're only concerned with positive integers, right? Right? Okay. Sige. Claro so far, guys? Inductive step. Okay. We need to show that k plus 1 q, tama, plus 2 times k plus 1 can be represented in the form of 3 times some summation. You want m, right? What that just means is that the k plus 1 quantity cubed plus 2 times k plus 1 is also divisible by 3, or is a multiple of 3, in other words, right? Great. Okay, let's begin. We begin with question mark. So we have k plus 1 quantity cubed plus 2 times k plus 1. How much is this, guys? How much is k plus 1 cubed? Isn't that k cubed plus 3k squared plus 3k plus 1, diba? Kung saan siya ang property? Cube. Kung saan tawag ka? Sum of cubes? Hindi ba na sum of cubes? The cube of sums. Si Cesar knows this. Kasi tawag ka na Cesar. Dapat, Ariana and Cesar, dapat you know this. Kayo are math needs. Wala pa ba? Perfect cube? Binomial cube? Pascal triangle? Saan na siya? Basama na. Magawas na sa exam. Bonus. Class P naman ni guys. Class 2k plus 2. Okay lang? Tama? Right? Oy, meron ako nakikita ng familiar. Ano yung nakikita ko familiar? Which one is familiar? So if you notice, as I said earlier, dapat we do not oversimplify, right? We do not oversimplify the expression. Okay, if I'm going to simplify this expression, I can combine 3k and 2k into 5k, right? You agree? So and then if I do that, then wala na. I can't do anything about it if I oversimplify this, right? So what we are looking for there is our inductive hypothesis, and the inductive hypothesis is there somewhere. It's that guy and this guy, Red, right? K cubed plus K. 2 times K, sorry. K cubed plus 2 times K. That's our inductive hypothesis. So I'm going to rewrite that in this form. K cubed plus 2K. So again, this shows to you, like what I mentioned earlier, do not oversimplify. Okay, you're going to lose it. If you did add 2K and 3K together, you're going to end up with 5K. There's no way you could represent that as a multiple of 3. Right? So do not oversimplify. But take a look lang, look for where you can find your inductive hypothesis. And I'm going to have 3K squared here plus 3K. Well, I can combine this too because that would make sense. Right? I'll have plus 3. Right? Tama? Tama, tama. This one is 3J, right?
Yes.
Great, great. And J is an integer, right? Oh my! 3 sa dislatanan. Very good. Good job. Beautiful. So this is 3 times J plus K squared plus K plus 1. The only thing left for us to do is to show that this is indeed an integer, a positive integer, and it is because the set of integers is closed under addition. So this can be represented as 3 times sum n, right? And therefore arriving at our claim. So ano siya, sir? K or AH? Pwede po K. K na. K na? K na. Right? So that's mathematical induction. Kana lang siya. Ang tip lang yun sa mathematics, do not over-expand, do not over-simplify. Simplify enough lang or expand enough para padulong ka dito sa imong inductive hypothesis. You want to reach your inductive hypothesis. The inductive hypothesis should be used in the inductive step. It's not mathematical induction if you're not able to use the inductive hypothesis in the inductive step. Right, right? Okay. So I'm going to end the discussion on, like I mentioned last time, the discussion on proof techniques is going to be quick and fast, right? Because we simply want to review them. We will be using them in proving stuff on languages when we begin working with formal automatic. Okay. And because we have defined at the onset, that languages are just sets. Like the C programming language, it's just a set. What kind of a set? It's the set of all strings that are syntactically correct C source files. So it's just a set. Language is just a set. The English language is simply a set of, how would you do it? A set of strings also that are valid English, grammatically correct English sentences, right? So sets, languages are simply sets. And so we do a very quick review on what sets are. Okay, so what is a set, guys? Oh, it's a collection, sir, of objects. Like the collection of 4 letters. And let's name this set L and you enumerate the elements. We can enumerate the elements here because L has only 4 elements. Okay? Now, take a look at set S. Red, blue, red. Take a look at this other set. Red, blue. Take a look at this other set. Blue, red. All these sets are one and the same. The set does not contain, should not, and must not contain duplicates. If and when they do, that just means that this is not a new element. This means this is the same element as this guy. So therefore, this set S here is the same as this set. And because the set is a set of an unordered objects, or unordered set of objects, blue, red is the same as red, blue. Right? Great, great. Okay. And then we say that 2 sets are equal if they have the same elements. Right? So these 3 sets are the same set because they actually have the same set of elements, right? What are elements, guys? What's some elements? So the elements or members are the objects comprising the set, and we normally denote that by this symbol, this Greek symbol. We read this as X is an element of the set L. Great, great. Good job. Okay, next, more samples. Take a look at the set S that I have here. I have a new set S. 3 red, D blue. How many elements does the set S have? How many elements does the set S have? It has 3 elements. So the elements do not necessarily have to be of the same type. It's possible for the set to contain different kinds of objects. It's still a set, right? And that 3 that we mentioned is what we call the cardinality of the set, meaning the number of elements present or found in the set. Clear? And it's denoted by this symbol. You might refer to this as the absolute value or tayo. That's really just the pipe, right? You know what the pipe is? When you type the OR, like when you need to use the logical OR or the bitwise OR, what do you call that symbol? It's a keyboard. So if you want to specify it on the keyboard, like you're telling me, type that symbol for the OR. Like I don't know what it is. How are you going to describe it? What's it mean? An answer. Katong ani, sorry. Kato sir, katong ana. Sorry. Kana siyang symbol? Right? Right? What do you call that? Wala na ditulog sa kung sa 11. Saan na? Starts with the letter P. Ariana has been saying it. Ganyan pa niya. What do you want to do with Ariana? Ariana has been saying 5 to 5. Kaya, kung sayo ka, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sayo lang ako, di natawakan mo. If the cardinality of the set is 1, like this set T here, it just has 1 element. We call that, like most of us, single. Singleton. Sorry. Ako rin yan. Like me, singleton. But then this is what we use to denote or specify the null set or the empty set. What is this? This is the set that does not have any elements. So what is the cardinality of the empty set? Sure mo? What is the cardinality of the empty set? Huh? What's that? I'm hearing some people say 1. If the cardinality of the set empty is 1, how then is that different from the singletons? Empty, right? Meaning, what I saw. 0. Kung 0 na, wala na, bulagi na. Ayaw pangitan sa glani ni anak ka ng bulagan, di ba? Kung wala yun, hinahabi, bulagi ko, right? Lagot.
This from experience,
Wala ko eh. Happy. So notice the first set. The first set we saw earlier, when we listed W, X, Y, Z, no? So that's one way of specifying a set. We list the items and close the items in a pair of curly braces. We call that listing the items. What is the problem of listing the items? The problem of listing the items is that the items or the set might have infinite elements. The number of items that the set has may be unbounded. So listing may not be enough. Okay, shout out to you. Sige daw, list daw a set of natural numbers daw. Sige daw, list daw. I-list sir, set of odd numbers. So na-i-list na ako siya. I said i-list. Set of, so ako nililisan. Set of odd numbers. Okay, spring of ako.
Funny ang explanation. Mas funny ang explanation.
Oh, so if that is the case, then we can use the ellipses, right? And we normally use the ellipses only when there is some pattern to it, right? Like, as long as the few elements that we've listed have already established the pattern, then you use the ellipses, right? What's the next element, Annie? What do you think is the next element? What's the next?
3.
Sure mo? 3, right? 3, 4, 5. Hindi na circle. That's like 30 kasi. Hindi ko sure hindi na 0 to. Sure di ay. Come on, sir. Okay. And then sometimes it's possible to also specify sets by way of referring to other sets and then describing some property that the elements may or may not share. No? All the elements. Like for instance, let's take the set I. The set I, say for instance, contains 1, 3, 9, and I have another set G, 3, 9. This is not intentional, just so you can get to see IG there, but yeah, you mentioned it. I can refer to G this way. I can use the set I to describe and to specify the set. You read this as G as the set of all X, such that X is an element of I. So it comes from I, elements from I, and X is greater than 2. So if you look at 3 and 9, 3 and 9 are elements of the set I, and the property that they share is that they are greater than 2. So in general, normally we say that the set S is the set of all X, such that X is an element of some set A, and then it has some property P. Like for instance, this guy, the set of odd numbers, is the set of all X, such that X is an element of your set of natural numbers, and that X is not divisible by 2, right? So what are these numbers? I want to list them. This is 1, 3, 5, 7, dot, dot, dot. Great?
Yes.
Dot, dot, dot. Dot, 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 plus dot, 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 pila. Okay. The reason why I am showing this to you is because we will be using these, especially this, to specify the languages that we are going to encounter. And I'd also be asking you to describe the language, and you're going to do this. You'll appreciate this when we start and discuss about languages. Okay. Question so far? Question so far? Okay. We've made mention earlier that two sets, A and B, are the same if they have, or equal, if they have the same elements, right? That is easy to check if both A and B have limited or bounded items. But the moment the sets have infinitely many elements or infinitely many items, how do you show that in general, how do you show that the set A and the set B are equal sets? So what we do is we normally show that they are, let me just erase this for now, kanang bar under it. Ayan. Normally we show that A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A. That means if they are subsets of each other, then they are the same set, or they are equal sets. What does a subset mean? Kung pasabot sa subset. When A is a subset of B, what does that mean? A set A is a subset of a set B, denoted by this symbol, if each element of A is also an element of B. Right? So if each element in A are also elements of the set B, then A is said to be a subset of B. Also, let's have this property called proper subset. No? If A is a subset of B, but not the same as B, so that means what? B has more elements than A has. And if that is the case, then we call that A, we say that A is a proper subset of B. What does it mean then if I say this? Improper subset. Right? A is an improper subset of B. When we say that A is an improper subset of B, that can mean one of two things. One is A is the same as B, right? Like the elements of A are the same elements, exactly the same elements of B. So when A and B are the same, we say A is an improper subset of B, correct? What else can we say apart from that? When can A be an improper subset of B? When else? When else? Remember when else you use that symbol, improper subset? Apart from A being equal to B. When A is what? What? Louder. Don't be shy. Ano do? When A is a subset. When A is? When A is? Starts with the letter A. When A is? empty. When A is empty. When A is empty, it's also an improper subset of B. Empty ba? Because the empty set is always a subset of any given set S. And it's an improper subset. Okay? Wala. No? Wala. If wala kayong sulbo, that's very improper. Kung fully clothed food ka, kompleto, fully clothed, everything, and you are in the Philippines, improper yun siya. See, guys, makakita ang group ninyo, like friends ninyo, like ani ang weather nyo na ba? Kasi naka-jacket, may fur pa here, maglakolak ka, kamusta ang ilog, guys? Or like, siyempre sir, ganyan talaga, no? Passion. Right? Great. So, this one, you remember that? The empty set is always a subset of any set. An improper subset. Okay. So we let S be a set. We're now defining what is a finite set. What does it mean for a set to be finite? So, if there are exactly n distinct elements in S, where n is a non-negative integer, we say S is a finite set, and n is the cardinality of S. So there must be an integer, a non-negative integer, and then you can map to the number of members or elements the set has. Right? So that's why it's a finite set. We know that the cardinality is denoted by this symbol. We've seen this earlier. Take a look at set S. What is the cardinality of that set S there? S there is finite because I can find a non-negative integer, right? To map to its cardinality. So what is the cardinality of the set S there? Why? I am hearing two different answers. Distinct elements. Distinct elements. So you have two here, right? There's just one, right? There's just one, two. Okay? There's just one, two. Great. Distinct. Okay. What then? The next slide. What then? What then is an infinite set? How would you define an infinite set? An infinite set is infinite if it is not finite. Diba? An infinite set is a set that is infinite if it is not finite. But what does it mean to be not finite?
Infinite.
It means that we cannot find a non-negative integer n that we could map to its cardinality. But that's what it means to be not finite. There does not exist a non-negative n that we could use to map to its cardinality, right? But essentially, what is an infinite set? Oh well, a set is infinite if it's not finite. Right? Good job. Guys, I'm going to be asking you to memorize definitions in this class. So in the exam, I'll be asking you to formally define items, define terms. Okay? So when I ask you what an infinite set is, don't give me that. Well, you can give me that as a starter. Like a set is infinite if it is not finite. Sumpay lang kung sabihin sa non-finite. A non-finite set is infinite. At least you probably would have made me smile. That's the most important thing. You are able to let someone else smile just because you exist. Ino-record mo? Ask ko yung nag-record ko eh. From now on, hindi na ko mag-ibag, guys.
Magda, huwag kayo pag-sensor para makita.
Hello. So anyway, this is an example of an infinite set, the set of natural numbers. Some would say we should include 0 as one of the elements of the set of natural numbers. Others won't include 0 as the set of natural numbers. Anyway, if we do include it, we don't include it, nothing changes. Okay, what happens if you add 0 to something? What happens if you... A joke, guys. I hope it was clear and it was a joke. No. And what I'm saying is, even if I don't put the 0 there, it's the same. Okay, if I put 0 there, nothing changes. It's just 0, right? Or if I take out the 0, wala sa pinilanta. I took out 0. Oh, pinilanta. Joke, guys. Mag-explain ako kung joke. Eh, kasi mamuntahan ako sa isang kapag dito ba? Mamuntahan, dapat tayong disclaimer, no? Okay, at this point, set of even numbers. Can you begin listing the set of even numbers? Let's include, di na include ng 0. Right? Do you agree that the set of even numbers is infinite? It's infinite, right? Because you cannot find a non-negative integer to map to its cardinality, right? It has so many elements, infinitely many elements, right? Tama?
Yes.
Do you agree that the... Yes, welcome. What I was supposed to say, do you agree if I am beautiful?
Yes.
This is beautiful. So we all agree that the set of even numbers is infinite.
Yes.
Do you agree that the set of even integers is a subset of the set of natural numbers?
Yes.
You agree?
Yes.
You agree, right?
Yes.
Kaya ano man? Oh, kaya 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 man natural numbers. Pero ang even up to 2, 4, 6, definitely, it is a subset of the set of natural numbers. But do you agree that there are as many even integers as there are natural numbers?
No.
Or you argue the case of, hell no, that is possible. The set of natural numbers has more elements than your set of even numbers. Kaya ang akong even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8 naman, 10, 12. Akong natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, and 12 na ako. Right? is a subset.
Yes.
And you're telling me that the set of natural numbers has more elements than the set of even numbers? False. The set of even numbers is as many as there are natural numbers. I want you to wrap your head around that. Why? Because this guy, I can map to that. This guy, I can map to that. This, I can map to that. And these three, I can map to that. Oh, pareho sa kalaghan. But seriously, you generate enough even integers. For every even integer that you generate next, that can be mapped to another set of natural numbers. Right? So we say that the set of even numbers is as many as there are natural numbers. Right? And that property is what we call denumerable. 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 Meaning, the set can be mapped to the set of natural numbers. Any set that can be mapped to the set of natural numbers is a denumerable set. Do you remember that? Denumerable. Very And we also say that n is numerous to the set E. They're both infinite, yes, but they have the same number of elements, so to speak. Right? Great, great. But what about the set of real numbers? What about the nababasa? Asa, sir? Nalagay somewhere. The last bullet. The set of reals is an infinite set. Do you agree that the set of natural numbers is a subset of the set of real numbers?
Yes.
What's about the set of reals? Kapila siya. Kanang ko answer. Kanang wala ka ng dahong ng kamong sa buhay kamong. Kung wala yung Dave Bell, sir, ayaw ka muna-muna ng kamong.
Correct.
Sakitan ka na, sir. Bahalag na siya mga ginabuhat ng wala.
Diyos, Roy.
Ayaw yan. Sir, are you okay? The set of natural numbers can use. Does this have natural numbers? Yes.
Yes.
Right? Yes. O sa may set na mas dagko pa kaysa kay set of real numbers. What is a bigger set than your set of reals?
Complex.
You know, positive integers, negative integers, the set of integers, yeah, the set of rational numbers, tama? Tapos the reals, kaya feel na ang irrational sa reals. Sa may mas dako sa real number. Na, kung dili tinuod, sa tawag. Dili. There's another word for it. Imaginary. The set of complex numbers. Diba? Budbud sa diba? Mathematician, the set of real numbers. Yeah. Hala, how do we represent the square root of negative 1? Oh, imaginary, budbud, at budbud. But yeah, I enjoyed my complex theory in college. So we had a class called complex theory, and all we discussed there was complex numbers. Diba? Complex na ganyan pinamuhin. But is the set of reals, or is the set of natural numbers as many as your set of reals? There's a formal proof to this, and we are going to show that in the next section of class. But intuitively, do you feel like the set of real numbers
same as real
kind of
numbers.
as many as your set of natural numbers? So your set of natural numbers are as many as your set of reals? Nga naman. Intuitively lang. Even if you look at the real numbers between 1 and 2, diba like real numbers between 1 and 2, right? Tama? Like, that has more elements than your set of natural numbers. You know why? I think for instance lang, naiingon lang ko kanina mga numbers lang. Sample lang niya. Sample lang. 0.9. 0.99. 0.99. Kaya siya mismo number na if I do that, tama? I can map that to the set of natural numbers. Kaya pa lang. Set of natural numbers na. How do I go to the next one, diba? Napapwila yung mga numbers na sa reals. So intuitively, if you look at that, the set of reals is a bigger infinity than your natural numbers. Both are infinite, but one is a bigger infinity. Right? Great. Nice. But I'm sure you've learned that somewhere, right? In 56 pa. Or wala pa yung kaagi at nakatiman. Can some infinities are bigger than others? No? You're not sure? I said it was too long ago, sir, and it's math. Why do we have to remember that? Fault in our stars. I didn't like that. It's fine though if other people don't like the movies that you like, right? Okay. Nabuhi magaling ka, bisag like ni mo siya, hindi ka niya like. Wala movies lang. I wasn't looking at you, Loma. We want you.
Sakto lang sir, pareho lang punta akong tanaw ng dalawa.
Sa dahon yun. Pareho rin pagtanaw sa live.
Sa layo.
Sa layo.
Pero na-expect din na siya pa.
Hindi mo siya mali sakit. Siya yung kali.
Ako na pa ang window.
Nasa ba? Malungan ka ba gusta? Kaya malungan sa ubos. Parang hinay. Gusto siya. Kapoy na mamayin ko eh. Malungan na ako nyo, right?
Yes.
Okay. Next. So, after the machine problem you're going to do on paparazzi, I'm going to ask you to do another machine problem assignment, and that is to implement the set. The set that we have here. Not the unordered set that we had when we did the hash map or the hash table, right? But this set, meaning we will build sets and then combine sets using the different set operations. But there are many set operations to produce a third set, right? We begin with the power set. So a power set, what is the power set of the set S? What is it? The power set of the set S is the set of all subsets of the set S. So the elements of the power set, they're going to be sets themselves, right? And it is the set of all possible subsets of the set S. Great? Okay. So given an empty set S, let's say the set S is empty. What is its power set? What is the set of subsets of the empty set? Does that even have elements? Take the empty set. Watch it do it. It's empty. But what about the power set of the empty set? What is the power set of the empty set? It is the set of all subsets of the empty set. And the empty set has only one subset, and that is the empty set. So the power set of the empty set is a set that contains just this empty set. So how many elements does the power set of the empty set has? One element. Okay. And its cardinality is 1. There you go. It's there, right? What about this guy? The set A containing 1. Unside power set B. So by the way, I forgot to mention that the power set is denoted by P of whatever the set is. So P, power set of A. Diba? We mentioned dapat the first thing that should pop up is this guy, right? And then what? The set itself. Not 1, but the set containing 1. Because we are looking at subsets. How many elements do we have here? 2. Okay. Let's take a look at set B. What time do you have, guys? Under. Dami pa more. What is the power set of B? Power B. Hindi nila kung saan siya. Power set of B. MD set. The singletons. And then the set itself. How many elements? It has 4 elements. Ayaw yung sumama, guys. Let's have the set C. 1. That's right. The power set of the set C. Sige. Empty set. The singletons. The pairs. We don't include 3, 1 because that's the same as 1, 3, and then the set itself. How many elements do we have? 8 elements here. That is why the power set of the set S is also denoted as 2 to the S. Because the cardinality of the power set of S is 2 raised to the cardinality of the set S. If the set S has 2 elements, then its power set will have 2 raised to 2 elements. If the set S has 31 elements, how many elements will its power set have? 2 to the 31 elements. But how much is that? Bigyan mo naman. 2,147,483,648. Right? From -1 to 47. The biggest integer that we can pick is sign in. So these are so the first operation I need you to implement, although this is after paparazzi pa, okay, this deadline is Feb 12 time, so should be fine. But at least you now know where the next MB is going to come from. Like I mentioned earlier, 2 sets can be combined to form a 3rd set by various set operations. Union, intersection, and set difference. Union is denoted by this symbol, A union B, and that means the set of all x, such that x is an element of A, or x is an element of B. No? Either from A or from the A union B. What about intersection? Well, it's a set of, I know you know this, but let me just read this. This is the set of all x, such that x is an element of A, and x is an element of B as well. No, that's intersection. What about set difference? Set difference is the set of all x, such that x is an element of A, but x is not an element of B. Right? So let's have some sample here. Very, very short sample. What is A union B here, guys? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. What is A intersection B? A, but not in B. So that means 1, 3, 1, 4, sorry. 1, 4, 5. Right? What is B union A? Say same. Same as UA union B. What is B intersection A? Same as A intersection B. What is B minus A? Not the same as A minus B. So we say that union is a commuter. Commutative, right? Intersection is commutative as well, but not the set difference. You follow? In a similar manner, you can get the parallelism between the set operations and the arithmetic operations. Okay, like the union you can map with addition, right? And addition is commutative. Intersection you can map with multiplication perhaps, and multiplication is commutative. But the set difference and the subtraction operator for arithmetic, they're both non-commutative. Right? Right? There's that parallelism. Before I proceed to the next slide, what is the cardinality of A union B? What is the cardinality of A union B? Is this cardinality of A plus the cardinality of B? Minus 1. The cardinality of A intersection B. Right? Tama? You follow? But what if this may sometimes be empty? When will this be 0? When will the cardinality there be 0? When A intersection B is empty, they don't have a common element. What do we call, or how do we describe A and B then? What? Not that joint, but this joint.
This joint.
Burger joint. We call them this joint set, not that joint, but this joint. Great? Great. Okay, some properties of the set that you probably know, some laws. A union A is just A. Guys, you are you. Even if sometimes, some days, you feel like you don't feel like yourselves. Always remember that A union A is A. You are you. There's no one else like you. Right? Sometimes if you feel, every time you feel na parang you're not yourself, parang remember all the probabilities that could have happened beginning from the time when the universe was created during Big Bang. Tapos all your ancestors having to meet the right people just for you to be here. They had to meet at that exact same moment para you would be here. And I'm so grateful, guys, that you're here. If without you, I wouldn't. We wouldn't have this very nice discussion on sex. Our very existence is for this very discussion. This has to happen. A intersection A is also A. We call that item potency. We've seen earlier commutativity. What is associativity? If you have to take the union of multiple sets, you can group them, right? And you'll end up with the same thing. The same can be said about getting the intersection of multiple sets. You can regroup them, group them here and there. Associative property. This guy, what is this? Distributive property. we just have to remember them. And then we also have, I think, a few more. Okay. So if you have A union B quantity and then intersection A, so naturally you're going to end up and get A. You know, so that is absorption. The same can be said about A intersection B and then union A. Right? It's just A. Okay? So don't forget, guys, that when you go into a relationship, A union B, remember yourselves. Dapat you do not disappear in that relationship. Okay? Dapat na ang yung gihapin mo own identity. Right?
Word.
Right? And then, balik na sa tinuod, the more guns flow. Balik sa tinig, the more guns flow. Right? You know the more guns flow, right? You even have this in logic, no? Sa inyong 130, right? Tama-tama? I like your tan. Where did you go and swim? Right. Nag-swim or nag-bike? None. So archery, like the archery. Did we win? Bronze? Ah, that's why you are color bronze. Kaya kung gold pa tayo nagsita. Nag-sparkle. Vampire? Very twilight. So anyway, guys, I will stop the discussion there, and we will proceed with this next meeting. I'm gonna turn that off so you won't be able to take a photo of it. Just have some exercise next meeting. I'm gonna flash that and